What's up YouTube, BizMath here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how long it takes you to get your very first wholesale real estate deal. Now before we go on, be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on post notification bell. Now before we go on, please you all like this video, smash that like button so this video can be recommended more for people who are trying to get their first wholesale real estate deal or trying to learn about real estate and financial freedom. So be sure to like this video and comment down below if you have gotten your first wholesale deal or if you're still hunting for yours or you have any questions regarding wholesaling real estate. Now, how long does it take to get your very first wholesale real estate deal? So number one, I'm going to first talk about how long it took me and my story in getting my first wholesale deal, and then I'll give you all tips along the way of what I learned on how to get your very first wholesale deal faster than how long it took me. So how long did it take me to get my very first wholesale real estate deal? So it took me 8 months. I started in the beginning of January 2019. I didn't close on my first wholesale deal until mid-August of 2019. So that's a good 8 months of trying to get my first wholesale deal. I started off, I actually took a mentorship about texting in the beginning of the year. And so I was doing that for like the first 3-4 months. Didn't work out. I was being lazy. I wasn't being consistent. And those are some of the tips I'm going to talk about later on how to get your very first deal and how to get it sooner and faster than me. And then in June and July, I really just concentrated and focused on wholesaling. I started reading books, and I wasn't a reader before. And I just, I'm still not a huge reader, but I try to read 10 pages a day of a business book, personal development book. Got the first deal through direct mail, through sending out, your basic absentee list, and that's how I closed my deal. So what can you all learn from my experience? What can you do to get your first deal faster? How long will it take you? So how long does it take you? It really depends. I mean, some people can get it right out the bat, one month. Some people may take a year or two. But if you all learn from my story, hopefully you all can get it in a shorter amount of time. I say, on average, if you're really consistent and you're focused, I think you can get a deal within 2 to 3 months and close on that deal. Now, I know it's different for everyone in different areas. It might be a little bit harder or easier. So it all depends on like your personality too and your character. So the number one tip I would give, well, not the number one tip. So the first tip I would give is to learn about wholesaling as much as you can. That's watching a bunch of YouTube videos, following Instagram accounts, and even reading about wholesaling, about real estate, about financial freedom. And then that brings me to my second step, is to take action on what you're learning on YouTube, on Instagram, in these books. Because yes, you need to learn throughout your process, but you cannot just learn. You have to act upon what you learn. And the beginning learning stages, you may learn for like a month before taking any action, but don't make it longer than a month. I mean, if you can make it short, like, okay, I found this video on YouTube a day and next day you're out there trying to work. You have to cut that learning phase as short as possible so you can start acting upon what you learn. And so number 3 is to pick a marketing channel. So with me, I started with texting, and I actually did stick with it, but I just wasn't being consistent with it. And I gave it time to run this course, but it just wasn't for me. So I went to direct mail. I went back to the traditional, the tried and true postcard, yellow postcard that everyone sees. We buy houses for cash. Do you want to sell yours? We close fast. We pay all closing costs, all that jazz. And when I picked that marketing technique and I started being consistent with it, that's when I was able to really expedite the process of getting my first wholesale deal. So by picking one marketing channel, you're not all over the place. You're not in PPC, in Facebook ads, in cold calling and texting and direct mail. It's better just to stick to one, especially in the beginning, and just try it for a good 3-4 months long. because I see that a lot of times we have shiny object syndrome where, oh, this is a new marketing technique. Let me start all over again and learn this whole process. And if you just stuck with the one you had before, you probably would have gotten a deal sooner. And I think it's kind of like that image, if you guys see on like Instagram, or that meme where someone is digging and they're so close to grabbing the gold, but that's when they give up, and someone else is just digging all the way. They're just keeping going and they end up finding the gold. So don't be that person who quits short. Make sure you run the course of your marketing technique. I do not say stick solely to one for the rest of your life. Like, stick to one, try it out as long as you can. If it doesn't work, stick to another one, just one, and do it until you can get a deal or something like that. So the number 4 tip is to be consistent, be persistent, persevere. So when I started doing direct mail, I was sending out mailers every single week. Spending a good $300-$400 a week, which really hurt my bank account. I was like, every time I had to make that payment, but it ended up working out at the end of the day. And so consistency outweighs a lot of things. It can outweigh talent. It can outweigh, just your condition, your background. As long as you're consistent with something, you can accomplish everything. You can accomplish anything. I'm reading this book by Jeff Olson called The Slight Edge, and he talks about just making these minor steps, just daily consistent actions, similar to compound effect, but over time it creates a huge result. And that's how true success is found. If you look at true successful people, it's by the little steps. Like, you see even music stars or athletes just come on the scene and you're like, where have they been? But no one sees what they were doing before. And so that same sentiment can be applied to your wholesaling business. Just consistently and persistently, and be persistent in sending out mail and doing your cold calls. Even if it's like 10 calls a day, I'm making 10 calls, or I just want to speak to 10 people a day. If you need to start off like that, start off with that, but just be consistent. The next tip I would give: network. Networking has helped my business grow recently even more. I started to JV with a few wholesalers, and I feel like I've been able to create more clout, maybe because they call me out saying, yeah, this person JV with me, he's really good, he did this, everything was streamlined, he was good with calling up, following up with sellers, following up with me, and different things like that. And just showing that you're an honest person, honest guy or girl, really helps. So network. And then also, when you network, if you build up your database, if you build up your buyers list, of course, they can come to you now if they want to start like a new business. If you want to get on your first flip and they've done flips before, you can partner with them. If they have a syndication and they need another partner, they can be like, hey, I remember this guy. I know he's in his or she is in their beginning stages, but would they be willing to partner in the syndication or whatnot? So networking is a huge tip in getting your first deal as fast as possible. So how long does it take to get your very first wholesale deal? It depends on a lot of different factors, and there are conditions where you cannot control, like exactly your budget or the area you're in. You can do virtually, but that may be a hindrance to you too. So hopefully you all can cut the time less than what it took me, and just learn from my mistakes and apply it to your business. So number 1, learn as much as you can, but don't let the learning phase go too long, and act upon what you learn. Stick to one marketing channel at a time. Be persistent, consistent, be focused and concentrated on that deal. And then also network with people. Network with as much people as you can to get your deal closed. And even if you need to partner with someone to close a deal, do that. And don't give up on a deal. If you know there's money to be made, do not give up. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe, comment down below, and like this video.